They are my papers. I can bet on it.
You know him?
I don't know him, okay? Let's go to the police. Let us go to the police.
You are an imposter. You are actually a criminal.
Lives have been lost because of what he has been doing.
You should be hanged by the neck because you are a killer.
I'm Semanda Innocent, and I understand you call yourself Semanda Innocent.
They can cheat.
He gave me an email address and he asked me to send him my documents.
Some of them filter through the system. We shall continue to hunt for them.
In our first premiere of The Stolen Identity, NBS Investigates exposed a doctor scamming Ugandans while impersonating the other. For over 10 years, he lived in a shadow with a discrete identity. Dr. Innocent Semanda II infiltrated top Ministry of Health offices for top jobs.
That is fraud. So why are you keeping quiet for such a criminal?
The masterpiece received national attention, but the fraudster wasn't moved. He continued to prey and commit erroneous atrocities against the populace. Victims of the quack were ranting helplessly. Why don't the authorities own up who is sleeping on the job and how shrewd is the quack doctor? NBS Investigates revisits The Stolen Identity, Doctor Know Nothing. Our original investigation sent shockwaves across the country. Our undercover team infiltrated the imposter's medical facility and exposed his work methods. He got juicy jobs, gained access to international placements, and sickened most people at his illegal medical facility.
But you also will accept to be one of our instructors for the masters because you have so much wisdom and knowledge and experience that we would really benefit from having someone like you as being an instructor.
We showcased overwhelming evidence of how this fraudster was injuring the populace, how the police officers at Wandagia police station didn't find our evidence substantial to hold him to account. Dr. Semanda II was advised to negotiate his way out. The quack convinced officers at Wandagia police station that he will make good with everyone. Eventually, he was let scot-free. At this point, Semanda the imposter admitted to have falsely been using the documents, and he willingly offered to help clean up the mess. The alleged imposter was then released, and he immediately retreated to his Cleveland specialized clinic to injure more people. This has left many unanswered questions.
You are an imposter. You are actually a criminal. And you are a murderer. You are not a doctor. You operate on a person. The person dies. What are you?
Pertinent issues raised by Dr. Warren Namara, who is the head of the State House Health Monitoring Unit.
And you're a murderer? Shouldn't you be tried for murder?
After getting all these questions, we head out to answer what's happening, where the imposter, what has changed, and why aren't authorities up to the task. I start my journey in Kamuli district in eastern Uganda, home to now the deceased Bibunwa Judith. The 25-year-old mother lost her life at Cleveland Specialized Clinic in Kasangati. It's the same clinic we discovered was being run by Dr. Semanda, the imposter. Cleveland Specialized Clinic has added to the numbers of orphans and widowers in this country. After a few days' illness, he lost his long-time friend, mother and sister to many. Dreams cut short.
aye najja otuuka ku julisi nga bamwanguyira eno wajja omutaaku ekyuma kya pressure nga pressure eri ku 40.
On the 15th of October 2024, Judith was rushed to Cleveland Specialized Clinic by her husband, Nsidera Andrew, for emergency attention at 3 a.m. Judith had acute chest pain syndrome, shortness of breath, and she was a hypertensive patient. Specialists at Cleveland Clinic did several investigations, including a CBC or a complete blood count, and she was also given oxygen support. This as per the referral form given by the clinic to the deceased family.
99 ku 40. Judisi bamutaako ecupa ibiri. Nali nka ali awo oxygen yeyingirawo. Era nga asobola okuyisa nga wawunirirwa buti oxygen. Atandise ayi okusitula Judisi awo okumwezaako oxygen yali afiire. Judisi bw'ati bw'atuleka Mosi babiri.
At 6:25 a.m., Judith was pronounced dead, and pulmonary embolism was the cause of death, as per the provisional report from Cleveland. He is now burdened with raising the 3-month-old toddler single-handedly. The world is unfair. To further detail this case, we read into the cause of death. We will preview to the Bibunwa Judith's postmortem examination report from Largo National Referral Hospital, which stated hypertensive heart disease as the cause of death. We presented some of these details to a pathologist for better understanding. Being a sensitive subject, he prefers not to reveal his identity but offer his professional opinion.
Hypertensive heart disease should not have killed these patients. This is something that we treat when we find out that this person has malignant hypertension. We'll give you drugs in the first hour, and people usually get better over 10 hours. Looking at the time this patient came in on the referral to when the patient died, it was a 6-time lag in which this patient could have been saved. And because this condition wasn't, one, recognized and treated, and two, if it was missed and they thought that it was a pulmonary embolism, which is a much more serious thing, they should have referred this patient immediately. What does this tell you? That this patient most likely would have been alive if the right measures were taken. And this is most likely a premature death.
Judith was denied the opportunity to live due to lack of the bare minimum attention from the medical personnel at Cleveland Clinic. These are medical issues. We can only highlight the plight of the people injuring the profession. However, we can authoritatively state that the quack doctors are sickening and killing the populace.
We have individuals who falsified documents right from primary 7 to O level, to A level, to degree, to even a master's level degree in medicine, when they have actually never seen anything. They have killed patients. They have killed a number of patients. They are not doctors. They go ahead and operate on people, and these people end up dead. They go ahead and operate on children. One of them did a circumcision and cut off the phallus, the private part of the boy. The boy died in the eastern region. Another one operated on a lady somewhere in, I think, in the west. The lady ended up dying because they were not doctors.
These are direct pointers to Dr. Semanda the imposter. He has lived as a quack for 10 years, performed surgical operations and dispensed medication and treatment at different forums.
Trusted me 3 days. They believe.
We revisit the falsehoods of Dr. Semanda. The imposter, after impersonating the other since 2017, he moved a notch higher to sanitize his fraud. NBS Investigates has landed damning evidence that indeed Paul Semanda Innocent, formerly known as Terietu Samuel Alfred, renounced and abandoned the use of his former names of Terietu Samuel Alfred in Louis, thereof assumed from the date hereof the names of Semanda Innocent in pursuance of such changes of names. In witness, Semanda Innocent on the 24th day of June 2017, so renounced.
Kubanga temanyi kiri kimu Semanda. Kiri nnyo nekakasa nteetu.
Waliwo ensonga lwaki kuganirako kuba abaana bange bonna ba Semanda. So ni waliwo
Semanda has eventually moved his entire family into a new family lineage. The Semandas, his children, now subscribe to his camped name. The Semanda name argument can better be settled at another legal battle. However, our investigation was watched by one Terietu Samuel. The fraudster has impersonated a Terietu Samuel in his documents. Terietu is a qualified medical laboratory diploma holder from Ginger Medical Laboratory Training School. He is equally concerned ever since we put out the investigation.
I got to know about this story last week when one of my OB sent everything to me about what you've been investigating. I looked at the documents. This person was changing the names from Terry Samuel to Semanda Innocent, and I picked interest to investigate also about this. However, I haven't gone to allied health professionals to get exactly whether this person is using my documents or not. But it has been circulating on all social medias, including WhatsApp groups where I am, and I'm interested in this to investigate whether this person is impersonating me or not.
Since his registration, Samuel has not practiced in the profession as a medical lab technician. He transitioned to a businessman, but someone could have taken an opportunity with his documents.
Because when I really reflected back, when I had just finished my course, when I went to pick my transcript, I reached at allied health professionals and I found when my transcript was missing. I pressed these guys for some good time, and later on they promised to print out another transcript. When they printed it out, I went and picked it. However, it had some errors on the date of birth, which they said they would collect and give me a transcript that has no errors. However, I have never picked that transcript which they collected because my business had picked, and I have been engaged in business for all those years.
Who picked Terietu's original certificate? Why would the Allied Health Professionals Council dish out transcripts without due diligence? These are only questions that authorities can't take up. We can only point this to them. Semanda the Quack, one people, different names. He has camouflaged many characters.
Changing his identity and adopting the name Semanda Innocent. Using the documents, he was able to get a scholarship. He went for a master's degree in Zambia, which was sponsored by WHO. And he came back, used those documents to get a job with the Ministry of Health.
To deal with these wrongdoings in the health sector, in his wisdom, the President set up the Health Monitoring Unit to support an efficient and accessible health system. We moved in to interest the unit about this peculiar case of a top-notch fraudster in the health system. Officials make public promises of firm action against this injustice.
But from where I sit, right now I have 4 of them in court. They are busy discussing with the Director of Public Prosecution about why they did whatever they did. We have a body of doctors. They follow up doctors. And we, you know, because human beings being what they are, they can cheat. Some of them filter through the system. Shamelessly, they also try to operate patients. For me, that's the biggest crime anybody can really pose. But I don't know the numbers. The numbers are many. But we shall continue to hunt for them. We shall continue to expose them.
The unit managed to take over the code file from Wandegear Police Station, and it is a marathon service of investigations. The Health Monitoring Unit in its investigations discovered that the suspected quack has had many faces for some time. His original name was found to be Nyombi Ken, that would later camouflage to Chietu Samuel, then turn into Sandy Fred, and later to Semanda Innocent. It is a metamorphosis of names. Dr. Semanda the Quack, who we now know as Nyombi Ken, is street smart. After interrogations by the formidable Health Monitoring Unit, he opened up with damning confessions of how he got hold of the contested documents. Semanda the Quack was a victim of an online scam.
In 2015, sometime in August, this gentleman was able to reach out to me. Now, how he got my phone number, I am not yet sure. But he reached out to me and they told me there was a job at one Kabawa Health Center, which I've come to confirm, to know that actually it doesn't exist. He gave me an email address and he asked me to send him my documents. Now, if any of you has been in a situation just right after school, we know that it is a time for looking for jobs. Any opportunity you hear of, you apply. I did not question this gentleman, and during that period, I applied to so many places. Some have even closed since then. And this, the story I'm telling you, he told us while he was being interrogated or questioned, to simply put it.
Eventually, Nyombi Ken, aka Semanda Innocent, was rearrested by the State House Health Monitoring Unit, and he appeared before Buganda Road Chief Magistrate's Court and charged with 14 counts. To put an end to this, authorities have taken more action and closed down the death trap at Cleveland Specialized Clinic, and the regional website showcasing the clinic has since been pulled down. The University of British Columbia has equally deleted its article of association with Semanda, the fake master, and the YouTube link showing his interview with the same university has been deleted, which is presumed as key evidence in the cases against the alleged fraudster. And Semanda has since then been remanded to Zurich.
Mr. Nyombi, you'll be brought back on the 22nd of November this year at 10 a.m. for hearing of your bail application. You'll be kept on remand till then.
NBS Investigates has stood the test of time to deliver justice to many Ugandans that have suffered under many imposters.
We don't spend all the time in the medical school doing nothing. We spend 5 years studying nothing but the body from head to toe. Each time we know where to cut. In fact, we know where not to cut. But these fellows are butchers. They are butchers. They are really butchers. And they should be hanged. First of all, no bail. And we are asking and requesting and beseeching the Director of Public Prosecution not to have them on bail. And sometimes, since this is a crime, the burden of proof is so tough. They can even escape and go back to the public to kill people. And the problem is that we don't expose them. The problem is that we hide them. These thieves are from our community.
I am really concerned for the lives and the people who have lost lives, and families that have lost loved ones. This gentleman has been conducting surgeries. This gentleman has been prescribing medicines for people without knowledge, without any education, without any experience in this. But I'm convinced that lives have been lost because of what he has been doing. And that alone, I think, should invite a separate sentence leave alone the fact that he has been using my documents. He's been fraudulently convincing people that he is Semanda innocent. So I believe he should be sentenced separately for that.
And when it comes to the final verdict, these are the expectations.
The country basically has lost in terms of funds, monies that have been invested in him, the salary he has been collecting from the government. He must pay. I really think he should pay.
Never get bail, and you should be hanged by the neck. That's my submission. Even if you are 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, you should be hanged by the neck because you are a killer.
Nyombi Ken, aka Semanda, is now Uganda's #1 public enemy.
There seems to be light at the end of the tunnel, and now everything is in the hands of the courts of law. Henry Mugenyi, NBS Investigates.